kicking. If you hold or clinch your opponent, I'll warn you twice and then penalize you. Let's have a real good fight. Keep your kicks hard and they'll be counted. Both understand the rules? Great. Go back.
It could be another one of those stepping stone bouts. The winner gets the spoils. Garner, the number 9 ranked contender, and Trimble, number 5, and perhaps a title shot to the winner.
Well, they're fighting, actually, they're ranked in different divisions. Trimble is in the light welterweight division, but what he'd like to do is to be able to go ahead and get down in weight and take a shot at Cliff Thomas. They've been talking about that one. They think it's really a great fight in the making. But first tonight, he has to get by Garry Garner.
You know, this weight class is usually as exciting, if not the most exciting weight class in all the PKA.
There's some great fighters in that light welterweight division, past and present. Tommy Williams, Ismael Robles, the list goes on and on. Terry Norblin is a guy that's wanting to move into that division. He's lining up to fight Ken Coleman here very shortly.
Some good movement there we just saw from Garner getting away from Trimble. He is something else. He's like watching one of those flying Walindas in the ring. Trimble, he's something else once he's airborne.
Trimble likes to move. He likes to keep a lot of going. He's really very much aware of the crowd. Trimble really likes being out here in front of these people, and they respect him here. They respond to him great. So this is in his element here in Atlanta.
Well, the house is certainly full here at the Western Peachtree Plaza. Trimble throwing more kicks, but both of them really feeling one another out at this point and using their quickness and defensive capabilities here at the outset.
Well, good fighters. Both of these guys are great fighters, and they like to get a feel for what the other guy is going to do. So neither one of them are anxious to go jumping out there. The more experienced fighters are that way. Nobody wants to step into something or make the first mistake.
Well, the hang time on a spinning back kick from Trimble is almost as dynamic as a punt in the NFL. He really stays up in the air. Coming down to the end of round number 1. Welterweights, Garry Garner and Jerry Trimble. The second round is underway, scheduled for 7. Garry Garner and Jerry Trimble, light welterweights. Garner in white and Trimble in gold.
Well, they seem to be getting down to business a little more. You know, sometimes I wish they could just have guys fight the first round back in the dressing room and bring them out for the second. Wouldn't have to go through that get acquainted round all the time.
A right front kick got through. Side kick there missing, and Garner counters with a kick of his own that missing.
Trimble throws nice straight kicks. There's a side kick that goes straight in. That makes him very effective. Fighters that have good front legs but don't kick straight into the body aren't quite as effective. See Garner throw a lot of front leg round kicks, but nothing really straight.
That's only about the second or third punch thrown by Trimble. He's been utilizing his legs, and here you see the two of them intertwined at the ropes.
Trimble tried to throw a spinning hook kick from really close. Garner was right on his back.
Garner muscles his way into the corner of Trimble. Trimble trying to get out of there by using that front kick.
Well, I think they're definitely all warmed up now. Trimble has a much more serious look in his eye. I think he's kind of forgotten about the crowd and about the Golden Boy and is concerned with, he's got his hands full with Garry Garner.
Garner has really been ineffective here. He's lunged and tried to corner his man, but he really, outside of that, has been ineffective as we come down to the end of the second round, scheduled for 7. The intensity, at least at this point, favors Steve Trimble.
Well, Trimble went in and did a little better job in the second round. Again, neither fighter really had any real trouble, except that Trimble did score the more convincing points during that second round.
Jerry Trimble there with Sonny Willis, his trainer. He really does look to kick long before he looks to punch.
He's a more natural kicker, and anybody that's a natural kicker will prefer that because you don't have to get in there and go toe-to-toe. You don't get hit as much, you know. A lot of guys that are good kickers will last longer in the sport because they don't absorb near as much punishment.
And, of course, obviously what everyone wants to do is get the good combination, kicking and punching power, and usually finding that breed is is the biggest difference between a champion and a challenger.
There's just not that many guys that do everything and do it well.
Round number 3 is underway. Garry Garner and Jerry Trimble. Garner traveling from Lake Worth, Florida, and Trimble out of Atlanta. And there's some infighting with Garner doing the number on top of the head of Trimble. And Trimble comes back and taunts Garner. The spinning back kick got through. And the crowd reacts.
Trimble gets around about as quick on that spinning kick as anybody in karate. He really explodes his body around, and he catches a lot of guys with that kick when they don't really think he will catch him.
He's about as flashy a fighter as you'll find in the PKA too, isn't it?
I can't think of anybody else that's more flashy.
He reminds you a little bit in the ring of another young guy that's fought a lot, Robert Visitation, whom we've seen a great deal this year here on ESPN.
Robert Visitation does like to throw a lot of technique and a lot of variety of technique, and that way they are very similar. And they both seem to have a lot of charisma. The crowd reacts to both of them very well.
An uppercut that scored on the chin of Garner from Trimble. I think the crowd may be bothering Garner just a bit here.
I don't think so. Garner's a very experienced fighter. I think it's just the pace. You know, this has been a very frenetic pace starting out. It's hard to really set up and land good solid shots under this kind of pressure. Really, Garner can't wait around on Trimble. He's got to go ahead and move across and keep pressure on Trimble if he's going to be effective. Trimble's simply too quick to wait on.
Well, he's only tried to corner his opponent one time, and we're coming down to the end of the 3rd round. Both men had the same thing in mind at the end of the round. They collectively missed, and both got a chuckle out of it.
Garner walked over here to our corner. I don't know if he was going to say something to you or what, Tim, but he moved on back down to his corner. A little disorientation there.
Well, Trimble is like a jackrabbit. I mean, he throws those kicks in clusters. And Garner really seemingly can't get on track because of it.
Well, it's hard to get your balance, really. You know, a guy like Trimble keeps you off balance because he does throw such a variety of technique, and they come at you from so many different angles. Oh, they're getting on Trimble, and on Garner's case right now in his corner, I'm sure, saying, look, you got to go get him. You got to stay on him. You see there, the spinning hook kick that just goes right over his hands, doesn't make contact. That was a close call. Garner kind of panicked then. He got Trimble in a little bit of trouble and then tensed up.
4th round is underway. Tim Brando and John Worley here with you in Atlanta, Georgia. Light welterweights. Garry Garner and Jerry Trimble. How do you have this one scored after 3 rounds, John?
Well, I've got Trimble up by 2 points, 30-28. He's just been the more active fighter, thrown the more technique, had the most success so far. Not really dominating or hurting Garner, but just controlling the pace.
You do have the feeling, though, that the ebb and flow of this fight could change in a matter of moments, don't you?
Well, Garner keeps trying to land a solid right hand. It looks to me like he's waiting around and trying to do that. But he's not a real knockout guy, so he's going to have to do it consistently. He certainly can't back up like he is right now for a minute and a half of a 2-minute round and expect to win.
Trimble throwing a few less kicks and throwing a few more punches here in the early going of round 4. Oh, right hand from Garner that did score, and it upset Trimble, and he came right back. Left himself open, took a shot, but decided he'd let the crowd know he could take a shot from Garner.
Well, that's what Garner really needs to keep doing. I'm sure in the corner they'd like to see him just continue to keep coming after him.
Garner seems a little stunned, and then he comes right back and scores 2 or 3 times atop the head of Trimble.
They're talking to each other. Garner said, "How you like that? I hit you 3 times and front kicked you right in the body. You didn't like it, did you?" Jerry Trimble has a tendency to taunt his opponents. He'll talk to him and stick his tongue out, make faces. Almost caught Bill Clark with a right hand there.
One more like that, and Clark will want to be the analyst again, as he was just a couple of weeks ago here on ESPN.
One of the reasons I'm not up there.
A more active fourth, and this one could be one of those wire-to-wire.
In sport.
This is the 5th round, scheduled for 7. Light welterweights, Garry Garner in white and Jerry Trimble in gold. Trimble has had the advantage in the early rounds, and it's beginning to even out as we have just passed the midway point in this fight. Front kick gets through by Trimble. He's really equally adept with both the left and right leg, isn't he?
He throws good kicks off either side. It's another thing that gives him an advantage over a lot of guys that are one-sided. He's kind of dragging his kicks now. I think he's getting a little tired in the legs there, Trimble. Of course, he's only thrown about 400 kicks so far, I guess. I don't know how many he's thrown, but
I like that. Pardon the pun, his legs starting to tremble. I like that. You thought about that a long time.
Garner's corner is over there urging him to come on, go get him, get on top of him, but he's waiting around, and he just can't win fighting the fight if he waits on him.
Yeah, he still looks tentative, Garry Garner. Once again, Trimble trying to get in, and the two of them trying to anticipate one another's move and becoming inactive just a bit. Oh, that leg got through, and it sent Garner reeling, and now Trimble down on the canvas, losing his balance again.
Well, that was a lot of noise there, but nobody really got dinged on any of that. A lot of hard stuff.
Both of them are taunting now. Look at Garner.
See, Trimble is not good moving back. He really isn't. He moves back and covers up. If Garner would just go get him. Oh, nice right hand there.
Now Garner just jumped right into Trimble. That's the end of the round, and that wasn't very pretty there.
That was a slip.
Watch as Trimble gets aggressive right here.
Well, he chases around, throws a spinning hook, it wound up and missed. Luckily for Garner, because that one really had KO written all over it.
How do you like that?
Well, Garner just threw caution to the wind and threw a real tough front kick there. And
we may give him a 7.5 for artistic dexterity,
yeah.
But
Trimble just made a little nice move to the left there, and that was all she wrote.
Yeah.
Nothing to hit.
this is the 6th round, scheduled for 7. Two fighters with a great deal of speed. And at this point, how do you have it scored? We're coming down to cases now.
Well, I've got Garner down by 3 points, 50-47. Really hadn't been a great fight because there's been not a lot of guys getting banged around much, but a lot of technique, a lot of action.
A lot of ego. A lot of egos being deflated the last couple of rounds. Many times when you see 145-pounders in the ring, they just go toe-to-toe and don't stop swinging. That hasn't happened here.
Trimble has never been a guy that likes to get in real close and really trade out. He's just not one of those guys that does that. And Garner, really the only way he's going to beat Trimble, he can't out-kick him, is to get in there and punch it out. And he has shown a hesitancy to do that. Makes it tough to win.
Makes you wonder a little bit, as well as he performed against Cliff Thomas, that he couldn't come into this fight with the theory that he could just out-duel Trimble.
The difference is that Thomas stalks you. He doesn't explode like Trimble does. He stalks you. And Garner was kind of hitting him on the defensive, counter-punching and moving away. He had good success with that, but that's a different kind of fight than Garry Trimble.
Spinning side kick missed. Didn't go anywhere. That back kick just on the side of the head from Garner. Not really very effective, and we're coming down to the end of the round.
Those jump back kicks, when they hit like that, though, even if they don't hit you in the target area, if they catch you in the arms, they're so strong that they hurt.
The end of this round.
To everyone who captures that special fall spirit that electrifies campuses across the country. The CFA, Saturday nights, live and exclusive on the #1 innovator in sports broadcasting, ESPN.
Some of the fans are on their feet as we start the 7th and final round. This light welterweight contenders bout. Garner in white, Garry Trimble in gold.
But Trimble's been off target on his spinning kicks all night long. He's either throwing them just an instant too soon or he's letting Garner get inside. Garner coming in now and just throwing a series of straight line front kicks, which is really something that he could have done much earlier in this fight, and he might have been in better shape.
That was a slip, by the way. Bill Clark recognized that readily. Garner might have lost his mouthpiece there, maybe getting tired here.
Garner just spit it out. He didn't lose it. And, yeah, he is getting tired.
Yep,
that was a slip there. Bill Clark was trying to separate him, and he got his feet tangled up. Down he goes.
Now, Bill Clark's a little bit upset with the way this fight has been going, and I don't blame him.
Well, it hadn't really been a classic fight. I don't think you could say that.
This is a dangerous move by Garner, getting rid of his mouthpiece. Bad things can happen to you when you let that happen.
Some guys really have a hard time breathing with the mouthpiece, especially when they start to have to breathe through their mouth. They'd rather breathe and...
Trimble, the more active fighter, throwing more punches. His eyes are glaring. Looks like he's ready to send Garner to another planet facially.
Well, Trimble really feels confident now. He's pushing the fight, taking all the initiative in the fight here. And Garner's just, I think, wanting to make it through the round. He's done.
Well, it might not have been artistic, but Garry Trimble might have gone a long way in taking another step and getting a title shot. And that's the end of the bout. Garry Garner and Trimble will await the decision, and we'll be back with it in just a moment. And with the decision again, here is ring announcer Larry Black.
Ladies and gentlemen, the results. We have a unanimous decision. It is a majority decision. Judge Mike Sawyer scores the fight 68-68. Judge John McTernan scores the fight 68-67. And Judge Harris scores the fight 70-67. The winner by majority decision is Jerry Golden Boy Trimble. Trimble.